Hey girl, today I have about 3 things I want to bring up. If this is your first time on my channel, hello, my name is Tatiana Barlow. I quit my 9 to 5 about a year ago and have been documenting the journey and sharing with you a lot of the information that I have learned along the way. I've been at this about 5 years now of self-growth and manifestation and building the life that I desire, and I've picked up a lot of information on the way that I love to share with others. Today, I'm talking about some bodywork meditation that I did this week. I do want to talk about cannabis and meditation, and then synchronicities per usual. Starting off, so I had a really profound moment while I was walking. It was crazy. And actually, what should I talk about first? No, that's the right order. Yeah. Okay. So I was on a walk after a weekend situation with family, if we even want to call it a situation. It was the weekend of Christmas. So we're a week off in the vlogs. We're back to our regular scheduled programming. And so I had a situation, some just emotions that I needed to process. And so I went on one of my good old walks, no music, and explored. And on this walk, I got to a point where I had made a declaration. I said, I very boldly just came out. It's like I shed any unhealthy attachment I have towards, and then insert the person that I'm speaking about. Mind you, this is like, if not like the most important person in my life outside of myself. I love them with all of my heart, and I felt like there might be some unhealthy attachment or need for validation there. And I made that declaration. Mind you, I'd already been walking for a while. That's relevant because you're getting into a meditative state, your body's feeling safe, you have that repetitive motion. Repetitive motions help regulate the nervous system because the nervous system likes predictability, and just to put it in short. And so it's very common when you're walking, you're kind of just in a meditative state, you get into a calm and relaxed place of being. And so I'd already been walking for a while, so I have that mind-body coherence, I guess, thing already going on. And then I made that declaration, and I was also already very in my body. And I immediately felt, and when I say immediate, I mean like as the last word is like coming off of my tongue, I felt the energy like well up. Like I feel energy move through my body, like in the most literal sense. And so I felt it start to rise and do its thing and release. And I was kind of like, at first like, whoa. And then I felt the urge to like cry, but I was like, I'm not gonna cry though. That's not the first. It's very common if I'm like releasing energy that I get that feeling of like I'm about to cry. Oh, it's like what, did I tell you guys that? No, because I guess I don't really talk about that stuff on here. Oh. I might talk about like something else another time on here about bringing energy in through your hands and stuff. I did something when I was in public. But moving on, when my body is releasing energy and releasing emotion, it often will feel the urge to do so through tears. For me, it feels as if there's a threshold for like emotional release, and there's like a level where if it gets to that point, then my body's gonna release it through like tears. It's like a good like release valve. But so sometimes things can get close and I feel like, oh, I'm gonna cry, but then it doesn't end up being necessary, is how I think of it in my mind. I don't know for sure. But I felt it come up. I felt like I was gonna cry, and then I absolutely did cry. And then I actually cried for real. Not boo-hoo, snot, wailing, but a real genuine cry. And it was crazy. And so I'm in there just observing myself. You know, I'm in it in the sense that I'm in it, but there's always a part of me that's just observing me in my life. And I was just like, dang. I was like, wow, okay, I guess I can't stop the crying. I guess this is a real release happening right now. And it's funny too, because I'm just walking down the street. There are some people that I had passed by that were doing whatever. And I was like, it's so funny to me how I'm just walking here having a whole deep therapeutic somatic moment. And I'm just like outside amongst like regular day-to-day people. This isn't even like a private setting. But it was so crazy to have such a mind, body, heart, energetic coherence enough for my body to feel safe enough to release that. And it wasn't just a during the walk thing. When I came into the house, obviously I was still thinking about it at some point, and I was typing it and talking it through on my iPad. And I'm just, processing what's going on and what am I actually feeling. Like, I like to dig, like, what's the real feeling? Because the real feeling isn't usually like you're actually mad at this person or whatever, especially when it's someone you love. Sorry, I just started thinking about it too much, and it's still relatively new in my body, so there's still a little bit of tenderness there. But it's like when you really love someone and there's friction in the relationship, I find that the surface level of friction, of irritation or anger or bothered or whatever it is, isn't really the truth of what's going on. It's really something usually a lot deeper of being hurt and sadness or fear of loss, losing that person, whatever it is, right? And so when I did my digging, I really discovered that what it really was just me. And that crying, what I really felt in that crying was like the grief of that relationship no longer being what it was and what I long for it to be. And maybe I'll talk more in detail without indirectly speaking on who they are, but I'm just not ready for that yet. But I came to that conclusion, especially when I was in my house, when I got home. And as I dug and dug, I got to a point where I said something that instantly triggered crying. Like, there was no buildup. It was just like, I said it and it was like instant crying, instant sound, like that. There it is. Like, there you tickled the part, you triggered the actual, like, the trauma, the hurt, the pain. And I find it to be so necessary and so valuable to release that type of stuff, to sit in that crying, to grieve the relationship or to grieve that is and what isn't or what was and what will be, whatever. But that was a really powerful moment for me that happened very recently. And being very honest with myself right now and honest with myself about us. And yeah, that was a whole thing. And as another reason, just, I know I say it all the time, but just another plug for me encouraging people to say things out loud. Not that saying things in your head is not also valuable, but when you say something out loud and you declare stuff and you materialize those words, I feel like it resonates different in the body. It hits different in the body, and it's really powerful. That's why I'm very mindful of the things that I say out loud. Oh, I did want to add, I guess I said I wasn't going to talk about cycle syncing anymore. But one of the things that I do, particularly when I'm in like a menstrual phase versus in the other phases, is I like to use the menstrual phase as a time to use the word shed, like to not only shed physically, but to shed things and traumas and energies that are no longer serving me. And so if I'm in that phase and I'm just kind of processing things and I'm realizing things about myself or I'm learning things, that is a time where I like to be like, I shed my attachment to this, or I shed blah, 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 and just really amplify that energy and use that as a moment to renew myself going into, or I guess continuing in the follicular, because when you're in the menstrual phase, it is the start of the follicular phase, but you know what I mean. And Next thing I wanted to talk about, I just wanted to briefly mention cannabis and meditation. I feel like if I'm going to be so vulnerable and honest on here, that I should be able to talk about the fact that I do use cannabis. And I fully agree with and understand that it is not necessary. It is not a requirement. You can reach states far beyond what any plant medicine or any psychedelic, what anything can ever give you. You can reach things far beyond that with just meditation alone. I firmly believe that. With that being said, I find cannabis to be so helpful, especially for many of us that may not be here yet, where we're having just supernatural experiences through meditation alone. I like to see when I use cannabis, to me, it's an opportunity to turn up the volume, like to turn up the volume in my body and to really be in my body. Like I'm a hybrid indica girly. And it's my time to study. I don't like to use it every day. I used to use it like with every walk, and I decided I don't like to use it every day because it builds a tolerance. It's for a lot of reasons, for dopamine, for a lot of reasons. But I find it to be so powerful. And in that moment, that what I just shared with you with the walk and stuff, where I was already very in my body, I did use cannabis on that walk, and I did find it to be so helpful. It just cranks things up enough where I can be even more like locked into how my body is feeling about certain things. So when I make declarations, and when I make statements, where I affirm things, I say things, I can really see, how does my body really feel about that? To me, my body is everything. My body is my GPS. I say it all the time. It's how I communicate with my expanded soul and my ancestors and just everything that I cannot see. I feel like my body knows and resonates and senses things far beyond and much earlier than my eyes and other senses do. So I did want to share that. And also, really cool, I hope everyone had a good Christmas. Christmas this year, we weren't even supposed to be doing gifts. And I ended up with like the best gifts ever. Bish, tell me why I got a sauna for Christmas. What the helly? Like, what? So excited about that. And how this Christmas went was so funny because I feel like I be manifesting stuff in my life like crazy now. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I got these cute little end tables. I'll show you this one, but the other one is over there. So it's like a Monstera nesting table. So there's actually, this goes, I guess showing you this doesn't mean anything because you don't see the other one, but you don't care about this. But I'm really excited about my Monstera shaped tables. And it's like, I had just put out there to source like that I want this, especially if it's something that I've decided like I'm not going to buy myself for whatever reason. I'm just not in the place to be I've bought enough stuff for this place, girl. But they just feel like such big synchronicities when it's like, damn, I got this right when I wanted. I've been wanting my own sauna. I would have never would have guessed that. I thought I wasn't going to get a sauna until I got my own property. And it's like a portable sauna. And then there's this African mud cloth that I really like. And I wasn't going to buy that. I don't know if ever. Like it's in my wish list on my Amazon, but I don't know, I didn't have any plans for it. And when I first got it for Christmas, I was thinking like, oh wow, like this is cool, because one of my relatives looks at my Amazon wish list, and I was thinking like, dang, I was hoping he would get the lamp, because I had a lamp on there that I really wanted. But I was like, and that's what I was trying to manifest for Christmas. I was trying to manifest the lamp. But I was like, whatever, I'm sure this is serving me. I'm sure this is like, this is what I wanted, you know, my divine source energy always gives me exactly what I want and at the perfect time. So this must be good timing. I'll see, it'll show itself, you know, when I get home or whatever. Perfect timing, because I needed something to cover my sauna, and because I don't like how it's kind of big. And it's like, oh my gosh, had I not gotten this for Christmas, I would not have had something to actually cover my sauna, which wouldn't have been the end of the world, but I would have still looked for something, and I wouldn't have wanted to pay for something expensive. So I would have got something that's probably not nearly as nice and not on as theme, not on theme with the apartment. And then with that, I still got the lamp because someone else got me a gift card for Christmas that I didn't expect. Didn't expect a gift from them at all. And it's literally the cost that I needed to cover the lamp that I wanted. Like, I literally was just like, it's just crazy to me. I'm excited. That is pretty much it, girl. I mean, it's just been really interesting seeing how, I mean, I constantly affirm, like, I always get what I want. I always get what I want. Get everything that I want. And I was thinking, like, I need to put something else on my wish list because my birthday is going to be coming up in February. And then I was looking around my place. I'm like, I feel like I've manifested everything I wanted for this place. That doesn't mean there's not always something that we desire, but it's just it's just really interesting. Life has just been feeling really interesting, and springtime's gonna be a really big time for me energetically. Your birthday, I guess, is your solar return. I just learned about that, and that's happening at the same time that, or very close in time to the new year, like in terms of nature, like at the spring equinox when nature and stuff like that part of the new year. And then it's also for my rising sign, if you resonate with astrology, my Taurus rising, I guess that like is going on in like April. So this springtime seems to be a really big time for me. So I'm excited to see energetically if and what happens. I'm continuing to lay the foundation for things that I'm really passionate about and building my community and sharing what I want to share. And I don't know, girl, I'm out here, but I'm loving life. I'm doing my best and holding strong on the belief that I have in myself. So I hope you are too. And I'll see you next time, girl.